Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
So, I guess he's asking, what's a 2% tax increase on a multimillionaire?
If you're already the highest tax jurisdiction in America, it's a massive tax, and I'm giving him credit. He goes big. He goes big. This is bat poo-poo crazy, what he's proposing.
It is time to talk about my mayor, Zohan Mandami. So New York City, the greatest city in the world. Don't laugh, I believe that. But there's a city where 1 out of 4 people live in poverty. A city that just got a new mayor who promised free buses, free healthcare, a city-owned grocery stores. And he looked at working class New Yorkers dead in the eye and made those promises knowing that the city was broke. And Kevin O'Leary was at the CNN panel yesterday, and he was just dropping some lot of common sense that I guess the rest of the panelists just didn't care about.
All right, Kevin, a quick last word.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm not sure.
My last word is, you're all nuts. Like, that's just...
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Kevin.
Guys,
am I in on that? Okay.
Look, we got to keep it together here, okay?
We are. Too late.
Honestly, I mean, there's a way to talk about these things. If you don't have anything to say, just say that, and I won't come to you next time.
Important.
You don't all right.
But I think his insights are extremely important to realize that if this continues, if this budget actually gets passed, it's not going to be the rich people that are going to be paying for this. It's going to be the rest of us, because the people who can leave will leave. And now it looks like he wants to raise our property taxes by 9.5%. But don't worry, he says this is a last resort, except it's literally in the budget that he submitted. Let's get into it. So just recently, this mayor that was a former state assemblyman, never ran a business, never met a payroll, walked into City Hall and presented a $127 billion budget, the largest budget in New York City history. And I need you to understand what that means. Now, this city that he says we are billions of dollars in the hole,
That the city is facing, $5.4 billion.
and his answer is to make the budget bigger. Now I want you to watch him explain the situation himself.
There are 2 paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes. We would also be forced to raid our reserves. To balance the budget as required by law, our preliminary budget takes the only path within our control, the second path. The options of the second path are the options of last resort, options that we will only employ if there is no other means of arriving at a balanced budget. We will spend the coming months doing everything in our power to ensure that our final budget reflects the first path.
So he's telling you that there's going to be 2 paths. One path is to get Albany to raise the taxes on millionaires. Path 2, raise your property taxes by 9.5% and raid the rainy day fund. He submitted path 2, the one that he called the last resort. That's not a last resort. That's the plan. That's what you handed in. Now watch this moment where a reporter presses him on a property tax hike.
Are you ready for blowback from Black homeowners who would largely be most impacted by a property tax hike? This is a constituency that you've struggled with, especially obviously on the campaign trail. And today's announcement is likely to irk them, let alone if property taxes actually, or higher property taxes actually come to be.
What we are announcing is a path of last resort, one that we do not want to pursue. And I join in anyone across the city who is concerned by the prospect of raising property taxes, because I do not believe that it is either the most sustainable or the fairest way to resolve this fiscal deficit. And I will be spending each and every day of this budget process looking to ensure that our final budget reflects the first path that we have put forward today.
So, I guess he's asking, what's a 2% tax increase on a multimillionaire?
If you're already the highest tax jurisdiction in America, it's a massive tax. You know, what I love about this guy, and I'm giving him credit, he goes big. He goes big, and he's got a fantastic social media team. This is great. This is bat poo-poo crazy, what he is proposing. And probably sometime next year, within 12 to 18 months, I will meet him in Miami and give him Real Estate Agent of the Year award. Because I'm not happy with what's happening. I can't get across the bridge anymore. I live in Miami Beach. Everybody from New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts is moving into my neighborhood. I'm pissed off. And this guy's just doing more of it. What he's proposing is beyond insane, but I love it.
You are
now,
very
I'm
dramatic.
like everybody else. Listen, you guys live here. You're not paying your fair share.
I don't live here.
You've got to pay 110%. That's the right thing to do. Because
right.
he's not cutting spending.
but
he's just going to tax you into oblivion.
This is the problem. And this is why I haven't really sat back and done a whole lot of videos on him, because a lot of this is something that you could have seen as soon as he got elected. A close ally of the mayor, the former comptroller, put out estimates in August of 2025. While the mayor, or then mayor, was campaigning, projected a gap of $4.2 billion in 2026, growing to $8.8 billion in 2027. The Independent Budget Office said the same thing. The Citizen Budget Commission said the same thing. The state comptroller said the same thing. So while he was on the trail promising free buses and city-owned grocery stores, the receipts were already in. He knew this was going to be something he couldn't do. He couldn't promise these things, but he said it anyway to get elected. Watch him at the press conference when a reporter asked him directly about those campaign promises.
But now it seems as if you're proposing to ask the governor to raise taxes on the rich to help address this budget gap. At what point does those, ongoing revenue stream will allow you to then, fund things like the buses and other things that you have proposed? That's my first question. And my second question is, you're keeping NYPD money relatively flat, but you've been critical of the way the NYPD spends money.
I continue to believe in the importance of that. What I am addressing today is the immediate crisis at hand, of which we are outlining is a $5.4 billion fiscal deficit that is critical for the city to be able to address by the time that it adopts its final budget.
To get you any new initiatives that are not in this current budget plan.
Taxing the rich will put the city back on its firm financial footing, and taxing the rich at the scale that we proposed.
Charts, some data for you, Kevin.
Thank you.
The last time there was a tax hike on the wealthiest, this was in 2021. Take a look at this chart. You see what's going on there? The number of people making more than $200,000 in the city increased. The number of people making between $200,000 and $1 million increased. Everybody who makes a lot of money, there were more of them in New York City.
Okay,
so the idea
Abby,
that there was some...
True, why not increase taxes to 110% if it's so good?
Look,
let's go.
Don't get mad at me.
I'm not mad.
These are the
I'm
numbers.
excited about it.
I'm just
I love
asking
it.
you.
Because I want you to pay, not me.
I'm asking you, is there really proof of the brain drain that you say, the money drain?
It's called England in the late 60s.
Okay.
It's called...
What we are seeing is not only money that's earmarked to fix 3K, meeting the demand of New Yorkers across the city, but also for the first time in city history to deliver childcare for 2-year-olds, which will begin with 2,000 seats this year, 12,000 seats next year.
As you see, he pivoted to the childcare situation. 2,000 seats for a city of 8 million people. That's your affordability agenda. Meanwhile, your property tax is going to go up almost 10%, one of the biggest hikes ever. Now you think, well, I don't own a home, I rent. Like I rent as well. We're not safe. Think about it. If the landlord property taxes go up, the cost is going to go somewhere. It's going to go to us in form of higher rent. So this budget to make NYC more affordable is going to make it more expensive for the exact people that he said he was fighting for. Now I need to give you the number that no one in the press conference pushed hard enough. Now we need to talk about the migrant situation, because that's something that those reporters in the press conference did not push hard enough. New York City spent over $10 billion on migrants over the last few years. $3.75 billion in 2024 alone at the peak of the crisis. And in this budget, the one that he's threatening to raise our property taxes, he wants another $1.2 billion for migrant services. The man cannot balance the budget. He's threatening to raise your property taxes to the highest level in years, and he's also adding $1.2 billion for migrants in the same document. Now watch him when a reporter asks him, where is the savings going to come from?
How can you say that raising property taxes is necessary if your chief officers, your savings officers have not yet completed the process of looking through these various agencies?
So in this same budget, and we can go back to this budget. So what you will find is the agency savings. $710 million in this fiscal year, $1.06 billion in the next fiscal year. The reason that I point to these is that while the CSOs have not yet returned with their analysis and assessments of their individual agencies, these are the savings goals that we are putting to them. 1.5% in this year, 2.5% in next year. And so these are the most aggressive savings that we can pursue without inhibiting the functioning of city government. We have seen in prior years what is required of city government when you are putting together 3%, 5%, things of that nature. What we are talking about is eliminating inefficiencies and waste and ensuring that we're still a fully functioning city government.
2.5%. That's the cut ceiling. His chief savings officers, who by the way haven't even finished their analysis yet, are capped at 2.5 agency-wide. He says going higher will affect city services. Meanwhile, a real business, if you are a CFO of a company and you walk into that company and they're about $5 billion in the red, you're gonna probably start doing some cuts. And you're gonna start to ask some real questions like, hey, what's the core business we actually need to do? But this man has never been a CFO, but the man never ran a business. And that really matters when you're running a $127 billion operation. So that's why I enjoy watching Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, an actual businessman, an actual investor. The anchor showed him a chart showing that after the 2021 tax hike, more millionaires were in New York City. The issue is that you're talking to a man that left New York. He's in Florida. He's not in New York. He's in Miami. He is around the same people doing the same thing. And here's the thing about the chart that she's waving around. It only counts the people who stayed. That's like me robbing half the people on my block and then pointing to the people who are still on the block saying, see, nobody left. The ones who left already left. You can't count them anymore. They're in Florida. They're in Texas. They're in Tennessee. Your chart doesn't show them because your chart isn't looking for them. It's selective data. It's a narrative. And if this budget actually passes, you're going to see more people who leave. The bottom line is this mayor that we have never ran a business. He never met a payroll. He never had to balance a budget with any serious real consequences. And he ran for the highest office in the greatest city of the world, promising everything, knowing that the receipts showed that the city was already in the hole. Now he's threatening a 9.5 property tax hike on working class homeowners in Flatbush, in Bay Ridge, in Jamaica, Queens, and in the Bronx to pay for $1.2 billion for migrant services. And in government, he refuses to cut more than 2.5%. This is it. This is what a lot of people warned about, and people were so desperate that they wanted free things and didn't understand economics. And we're all going to see how this all plays out. It doesn't play well. I'm sure that we're going to be making a lot of content about this mayor. Nothing surprises me. I knew this was going to happen, but people need to learn. You deserve what you vote for. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.